I will talk about genetic biodiversity. Genetic biodiversity is about variety of genetics and life, and I will focus on crops and agriculture based on my TED talk that I watched. Let me give an example. This is corn. When we think of corns, how many types of corns do you guys think? 5 or 10? We used to have 307 kinds of corns in the world before a century ago. But how many types do you remember now? Furthermore, there were 7,100 kinds of apples in the world, and 6,800 were extinct and no longer seen again in this world. We have about 200,000 different varieties of wheat, and we have about 2 to 4,000 different varieties of rice, but they are lost. Now some people might wonder why it is important to keep the diversities. We can use the best kind with the best nutrients of apples or others. That is not true. I mean, there aren't any perfect and best one that we can use forever. According to the TED Talk that I watched by Carrie Fowler, he asked audience to find their family name, and over 2/3 of people raised their hands. Maybe the diversities were from ancestors. It doesn't mean that ancestors put their names to apples, however, we lost them. Going back to the talk, the reason why there aren't any perfect one that we can use forever is we don't know our future and what is going to happen to our rice or wheat. Maybe the best one that we used can be extinct by disease, the climate change, or any damage by insects. Maybe some aren't economical. However, it can be the key of our climate change. It can be a material trait that we can use when the climate changes. If it has one unique trait that others doesn't have, that is the reason why we have to keep that as a raw material that we can use for our future. For those reasons, the biodiversities can be or will be our choices that we can make in future. Nowadays, world is getting hotter. The coldest day of our future will be the hotter than the hottest day in the past. The question is, can the crops or agriculture can survive from the climate change? The graph is from the TED Talk. The long bar of the graph is representing the average temperature in India. In the future, the blue bar will be on the red bar, 30 degrees average in the future. Can agriculture survive through this completely out-controlled climate? The graph is same, but it is average in South Africa. Nothing different. It will happen before 2070. According to the research, in 2030, the production of the crops will decrease into 30% because of the climate is changing right now, and it will soon connect to the global food crisis which will leave people starved to death. People need to find a solution pretty quickly because 20 or 50 years might be long, but they aren't. The good news is that people actually preserved the diversities in the seed form and place it in the seed bank, which has pretty good preservation for the long term. Unfortunately, the seed bank has weak part, which is the outside effects, like wars or terrors that happens in the world. And people actually lost one in between Iraq and Afghanistan, and it always happens in everywhere in the world as a daily problem by financial mismanagement or equipment failures, and they connect to the extinction whenever the problem happens. The extinction that are mentioning through the speech is not just simple like losing the homers. It is like dolphins, the bird dodo, or in the very past the dinosaurs which we can't see if you lost. It is a serious problem. If we lose rice or wheat, what people will eat instead of it? These facilities, the seed bank, are the basic base of the agriculture. These are the backup system of agriculture and they are free. Many countries like US or Canada were aware of the problems and they sent those seeds from their country. People didn't seem to be serious about this problem. As an example, there was a Vietnam War, and US Army used the defoliant to get rid of the leaves to win the war, and they weren't actually successful. and that brought us the demolitions of the forest. More importantly, we don't remember and we are not aware of those problems. As I said at the beginning, how many of you guys remember the type of crops? Or maybe how many of you guys knew this problem or interested in before? Some people worked and tried hard that they made a seed bank in the rural areas that people doesn't go and naturally cold. One of the room is this. This looks like the market, but in there are 425,000 crops varieties and there are 70,000 variety of rice and it just keep increasing. There aren't any special answers that we can react on the water problem or climate change and others. However, if we can collect those diversities, we will never solve the problem. We can find the efficient, sustainable, and economical way to keep the problem solved without the crop diversities. If the agriculture can adopt the climate change and we cannot either. If the crops will be, we won't either. We need to collect the remaining seeds and we need to be more serious about the problem. Thank you for watching. Everything is based on the TED Talk and researched image.